Hello and welcome to the Address Montgomery Dubai. I'm joined by custom fit specialist for Callaway, Jason Ashley, and we're going to take a look at a big launch for 2015 from Callaway. A relaunch really for the Big Bertha. We saw it with the woods at the start of the year, the Big Bertha and the Big Bertha Alpha woods. It's now come into the irons and we have a very impressive looking club here, Jason. Talk us through some of the properties of this golf club, the Big Bertha Callaway iron, who it's aimed at, and some of the technological advances that Callaway have made here.
Okay, Robbie, if we're looking at this golf club, we're looking at the technology that's come from the fairway woods and the hybrids and the driver into an iron. So first time we're seeing that from Callaway. So the 360 cup face is now going into the iron. So we're seeing a dramatic difference in ball speed across the whole face. So we're looking at a golf club that is exceptionally long and forgiving. This is aimed at really anybody that's looking to improve their distance and forgiveness, distance control as well, because we're seeing much better ball speeds off toe and heel strikes. So if you had to look at it, people might say it's for a slightly higher handicap. It's a little bit bigger, a little bit more offset, but it's one of those golf clubs. I think once you get it in your hand and you actually hit it, this club performs unbelievably.
Great, right. Well, how about the workability, Jace? We know about the distance. Are these clubs easy to work, or if you want to do that, should you be looking a little bit lower and something a little bit smaller head?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's going to have an influence. When we're looking at workability, it's a concept that a lot of people don't really grasp a lot. Workability comes from your path and face relationship, okay? And if a player is struggling with that, he's going to battle to work any club. Obviously, with a slightly bigger sole, the interaction between the ball and the club is going to be a little bit different, but you can still work this golf club. I mean, any golf club is still being able to work if you have the path and face matched up to where you want it to be.
We saw some massive distance gains with the X Hot and the X2 Hot. How have Callaway raised the bar again? Have they kept the lofts the same as those clubs?
Well, here's the interesting concept, and it's something I'm glad you asked because I'd like to discuss this. A lot of players think that now, because the lofts are stronger and these lofts are slightly stronger, that then it's ultimately just becoming a 5-iron as opposed to a 6-iron. That's not the case because we're seeing the ball flight still the same as a 6-iron. In fact, it's probably higher than a 6-iron. What ultimately happens is you've got to understand spin loft, okay, which is the dynamic loft versus the angle of attack, which is then going to increase the ball speed slightly because of the loft. It's not going to change the flight, so it's still the same flight. It's coming out like a 6-iron, but going quite a lot further because that number has been changed slightly and the ball speed is slightly better. So it's not something that most players are going to come out and say, well, that's a 5-iron now. Of course you can hit a 5-iron further. It's not the case. It's still going the same flight as a 6-iron. If it didn't get changed loft, it would go up and not forward.
Okay, well, that's some big talk there. Let's get this club on track, man. Let's see if these numbers really do stack up.
Okay, so as I look down on this is quite a lot bigger than I'm used to. So let's see how it performs. It's an extremely different feel off the face. It's really hot off the face. And as you can see, the numbers are comfortably up on what I normally hit a 6-iron, probably averaging about 10, 12 yards further than I hit a 6-iron.